Welcome everyone to the One Church podcast at First Baptist Church of Checotah, where it's your ministries with one church. Thank you for listening with us today. My name is Jeff Holt. I'll be your host. Over the next year, we're going to be looking at 12 ministries from First Baptist Church of Checotah and highlighting them. We will sit down and talk with the leaders of each ministry and give more information about what they're about, where it started, and maybe even some future goals of each ministry. On this month's podcast, we're going to be looking at the We Care ministry. I sat down with two of the ministry's leaders and got more information about this amazing ministry. For more information on how you can get involved or help out any further, please visit our website at ChecotahFBC.com. Click on the banner on the homepage that lists the We Care ministry. First Baptist Church of Checotah's audio podcast, where we're going to be highlighting a bunch of ministries throughout the next year. And the first one we're going to be looking at is the We Care ministry. We're going to get to that in just one second. I have two amazing guests with me here today. I have Miss Doretta Wilson. Can you say hi?
Hello.
And then I have Miss Jeannie Curtis with us. Can you
Good afternoon.
There we go. And these two, if I can just brag on them just a little bit, they do a whole lot. Yeah, she's skirmishing right now, but they do so much for our amazing church. And they're actually part of our Women on Mission. And there's Miss Jeannie, you do some Red River mission trips, and you've done some mission trips in the past as well. Mm-hmm. But you guys have done so much for our amazing church and the things that you guys offer for us. And could you tell us just a little bit of background on both of you guys, apart from the Women on Mission, maybe even apart from the First Baptist Church? Some things that you've done in the past that you've enjoyed when it comes to doing the kingdom work, doing God's work and stuff like that.
Well, I feel truly blessed that God allowed me to do some disaster relief a few years back. And another ministry that I'm so blessed to be a part of is the prison ministry at Eddie Warrior.
Oh, okay.
In Taft, Oklahoma. And it's a blessing to be able to serve him.
That is amazing. So disaster relief here, and you have focused on a lot of missional work and working in not only Red River but in Laredo. Can you tell us a little bit about Laredo?
Yeah, Laredo is about 650 miles south of here, and if you go past the last exit, you're in Mexico. So we serve down on the border, and for about 20 years now, we've been taking used furniture, clothing, household items down to Laredo and giving those away in a project that we call free sale. We would take the stuff down and let the missionaries that we worked with in Laredo actually give away the things in their free sale. And we learned over time that was the best way to do it because they knew the language, they knew the people that needed the things, and they were able to lead people to Christ.
Wow.
When we had been not able to do that as much because of the language barrier.
Yeah.
But God has blessed so much in that ministry, and because of it, 13 house churches have started in Laredo. A couple of those churches have gotten so big that they've actually had to have buildings.
Wow.
So we have had a blessing to be able to serve in Laredo, and we are slowing down on that because of our age and health issues. But we went back in November, and we plan on going again probably late January or early February.
Incredible. Yeah, that's right. We're commanded to go, and you use Acts 1:8 a lot, and that's really incredible.
Yeah.
A lot of the mission works that both of you ladies have done in the past is incredible. But now we're talking about home front missions, and where we're going to be helping out the people here at First Baptist Church. The people here at the First Baptist Church are bar none, some of my most favorite people that I've been able to work with, and they're very generous, very giving people, very kind. And I heard a long time ago that the church is going to imitate what their pastor does. Our pastor is very kind and very generous in what he does as well. And the church is just like that. They imitate him quite a bit in that front. And so the We Care ministry is to help out our members here at First Baptist Church. Can you give us, Ms. Doretta, a little bit of background on the We Care ministry?
Okay. Well, approximately 4 years ago, we saw the need in our church family and in our community of benevolence and how the people that we served in our community. And this did serve the community and other people that just dropped into our church. But our church family, we felt like we wanted to do a fund that would just benefit our church family. Mm-hmm. So we started this fund about 4 years ago, and we have been ministering to our church family out of this, and we have met needs of maybe people needing electricity turned on in their homes, or they needed wheelchair ramps built, and we've just a number of things that we have helped people in our church, and it's been a blessing. And our deacons came along with that and helped us
Amen,
complete these tasks that we needed to do. So we ladies, the name would be turned in, and it was done just very secretively, or they did not have to give their name to other people, and we just silently committed to help those families that needed help.
Another part of this ministry is home care, and something that
Yes.
is very big. Miss Jeannie, can you answer this? Can you talk a little bit about this, about what is the home care part that you do in the We Care ministry?
You know, Jeff, we haven't been able to do as much of that as we'd like
Yeah.
to because of the small number of people involved. But we do have a lot of members who are taking care of a loved one who is very sick, maybe even dying, people that are on hospice or other things. And they are caregivers who sit in that home 24 hours a day just needing a break once in a while.
Yeah.
So we've been able to help some folks go and sit with their loved one while they go out and go shopping or go get their hair done, or just take a couple hours for themselves. And if we had more people to help us, we could do so much more. And if I know there are people here that are looking for things to do, people that are bored sitting home, people that feel like they're not involved in a ministry, this is something that every member of our church could be involved in. We need money. That's one of the things that we need to buy the things that people need. And so far, there have only been a few women involved with the giving. Whenever a need comes up, we have a little committee. They meet. If they see that the need is something that we can meet, they let us know. And if we don't have enough money and we care, a few people come together and try to meet that need. We've purchased car seats. We've paid small medical bills for people that had something that they needed done. But, we're kind of limited because we are so few in number and because there's so few resources. If we had more people donating cash, we'd be able to do more to help our members. If we had people willing to volunteer, maybe even to babysit. I know that there are young families that have kids, and moms and dads are trying to work, and kids could use somebody for a couple hours in the afternoon to help with homework or things like that. Those are things that we could do if we just had more help. So we're hoping that by hearing what We Care is, people would come alongside us and join in, because this isn't just a Women on Mission group or mission. It's for the whole church.
Right.
We need to help each other, because that's what it tells us to do in Acts. It tells us that we should, whatever we have, we should share that with each other and help each other to do what needs to be done.
And talking a little bit about the Acts, there's a part in the Bible, and the part in the book of Acts in Acts chapter 2, where it says there was no needs because people were even willing to sell their items of their household to be able to meet the needs of their church members.
Right.
And so there's endless, like you said, there's endless possibilities when it comes to the We Care ministry, such as tutoring or sitting in the home care, something along those lines. And then, we can even get our, child care. Our young adults need, our young families probably need a date night or something along those lines. Like I said, there's endless possibilities of how we can take care of each other in that possibility.
Yes, and this could also be couples that were willing to volunteer. It could be, doesn't have to be someone that's a member of our Women on Mission, although we'd love to have, more members. But this could be men and women that could help with these projects if they were willing to just jump in with us and get involved in missions right here in the home front. And it is anonymous. Whenever someone comes to us with a need, we have little cards that they can write their need on. There's a little mailbox out there by our security TV, and they can drop it in that. We check that periodically, Doretta or I. And if there's a need that's placed in there, we present it to our committee. They see if we have the resources to fill that, and then we do it. But we do it anonymously. The person who receives anything from us is never mentioned. It never comes out in the financials when we do business meeting. Their name is never mentioned. We never would want to embarrass someone.
Right. Ladies, for both of you, could you summarize what the We Care ministry is?
Well, I think as the name implies, we care. It implies any need that a member has in our church, and as we pointed out, the needs are very, very varied, and it's we want to try our best to meet that need. And without sounding boastful, I don't think any need has been turned in to us in the last 4 years that we haven't met.
Amen.
And we consider that a very blissful thing that we can help others. And whatever that need is, the point is, the needs are varied. We've pointed out so many things, and we don't want anyone to feel like they are being begging or feel like they are pleading for help. When a person needs help, we want to be there for them.
Amen. That's right.
And not only that, you know, the outside community, people that live in Checotah who know us and know our church, they know what's happening here, and they know whether we love each other or not. And people who come to visit, we definitely want them to see that we love each other here in this church and we do care for each other. And this ministry is one way that we can do that.
Amen.
Yeah.
So we know that we take care of church members. What is the difference between the We Care and taking care of our church members and the benevolence fund? Let's talk a little bit about that. What's the difference between that? Ms. Jeannie, can you tell me a little bit about the difference between those two?
Yes, our benevolence fund is for anybody who comes in off the street. They don't have to be, they are not members of our church. It's actually for non-members. People can come and we will help them financially. A lot of times it's an electric bill that needs to be paid, or a heater that needs to be purchased for an elderly person, or a widow, or someone that has small children and they need something. They'll come to the church and ask. Sometimes it's gas, a stranger passing through town and have very little resources, and they'll come and ask for gas. And we have a committee, and we are, as a committee, you know, we approach them with a need, and they, amongst themselves, decide whether or not to disperse this money that's been budgeted into our church budget to help out those that are in need outside our church. The We Care, on the other hand, is strictly funded by people inside our church, and right now, as I said, it's just a few people that are even aware that we have this program. So this one purpose of doing this today is to let people be aware that we have this.
Yeah.
And of course, there would be stipulations on this as well. You know, we'll do our best. We have a committee that will meet, and they will determine the need. And if there is a legitimate need, they're going to do everything that they can to bring that need and get it taken care of.
But in going back to what she says, and you're right, there is that stipulation, the rules that need to be followed. But you said earlier that there has not been one need that hasn't been met.
Right. I feel like the people that did submit needs to us, they were very legitimate,
Amen.
and we took care of them. And of course, you know, we would have to use some scrutiny, I'm sure, if we felt the need was not warranted. But so far, I feel like we've met the needs of all that have been submitted to us.
Amen.
That's a praise.
That is a praise. Okay, so let's narrow down the three big things that we need help with. That is money. What are some other things that we need in this ministry?
We need help.
Help.
In the way.
Okay.
Right.
And what ways are we needing help with?
Volunteers, you know, as I pointed out earlier, our deacons came forth, and it wasn't just deacons, it was other church members that came forth and helped build the wheelchair ramps. They helped install a door that was needed for one family, and the men in our church have come forth and helped as well.
We need, you know, people that would be willing to go and sit with an elderly person or someone that's sick for a few hours so that the caregiver can take a break. And even those people, like you said, that a date night would be an awesome thing for us to start. But we need people that would be willing to help with that.
That's right. So the money and volunteers. There's one other way that we can help get involved is we need some wonderful ladies to join your WOM.
Yes, that's true.
And and now I'm going to say this, and we're going to highlight your guys' ministry, the WOM, in a few months. But one thing that kind of the stigma when it comes to the WM is that you have to be an elder or an older person to be a part of the Women on Mission. And I want to get that out there that's not the case.
Amen.
You want to say anything on that?
Yeah. We need some new blood.
That's why we have a day meeting time, and we have a night meeting time for the women in our church who work. You know, we have the Sunday afternoon meeting time, and we've tried to be accommodating to everybody. And we invite all ladies in our church to be a part of WOM.
Amen. Ladies, thank you so much for talking about this. This is a ministry that is wanting to reach out to our members. And like you said earlier, Miss Jeannie, not a lot of people know about this ministry. So this is the first time that the audio podcast, this One Church podcast, is going to reach out and to let people be aware that this need is out there. A couple of reasons why. One, we want to make sure that people understand that we want to take care of all of our church members who are in need, no matter what the cost is. And we want to make sure that they're taken care of all the time. But also we want to let our church members know that they are loved, and they're loved by God, they're loved by others. But we need some more people to help understand that we need the help in this area too, such as we pointed out, monetarily and volunteer-wise. And I feel like as people get to be more aware of the highlights of these ministries, they'll want to give more. They'll want to volunteer their time. And so that's the main point of this One Church podcast. This is the One Church with your guys' ministry, yours ministry with One Church. And so as we continue on, and next month we're going to highlight the senior adult ministries and talk to that leader and highlight some of the things that they do. And then in the months after that, we're going to go back to the WOM and talk about some of the many ministries that you guys do there. So, ladies, thank you so much for being a part of this today. It warms my heart to see you guys here, that you wanted to do this, that you want to get the point out there. So thank you very much. Is there any last comments that we want to make about the We Care ministry before we sign off?
Well, I just want to make sure that all of our church family realizes that We Care is a sign of love to our church family. And that's why we started this ministry, because we love and we care. Amen.
Amen. Ms. Jeannie, any final comments or anything? No?
She summed it up.
She summed it up perfectly. That was great. That was great. Thank you again so much for being here. Once again, this is the One Church podcast, and I appreciate your time and listening to us. Join us again next month as we highlight the senior adult ministry. Thank you, guys. Have a good evening. Thank you again for joining us today on today's podcast. The We Care Ministry is a ministry presented by the First Baptist Church of Checotah. If you would like to give monetarily to this ministry, you can do so by going to ChecotahFBC.com and click on the Giving tab, or you can give on your app as well. Join us again next month as we highlight the senior adult ministry on the One Church podcast. Your ministries in one church. Have a blessed day.